All right, Coach, it is a cold night in western Pennsylvania as we bring you inside Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. They'll run on first down. It's Barker, and that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. And a give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 3 yards on the pickup there, and they've got it back to 3rd and 10.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he fires one that's intercepted. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. They are in a zone. Remember, folks, 4 interceptions for this defense a week ago. First drive, make it number 5.
And the focal point will be the people who pick the ball out of the air. But let's not forget, to make that happen, it has to be an excellent pass rush, terrific coverage where they are plastered to the receivers, and then, of course, taking it away, making the catch, and going in the other direction.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Big series right here. We got to step it up. Get it.
Here's Anderson. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Lewis, off play action. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
And we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to it. Hey, you guys got the turnover? We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Check, 43.
Ready. They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Every time I see a coach challenge a spot, that makes me a little bit nervous for that coach. Those are very difficult to get overturned.
Well, the biggest reason, correct me if I'm wrong, is just technology. A lot of times you just don't have the angle.
Yeah, I think all the coaches, when they want to challenge that type of a play, they want to put the magnets or the things, the sensors in the ball to show exactly where it is. But right now, it's all about us humans.
Try to wedge his way in there, no signal. I don't think he got there. He did it. They try the sneak, but not enough push. He doesn't get in. And the Bronco defense comes up big. They run with Washington. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Normally when you see a short gain in the middle of a 3-4 defense, go ahead and pat the nose tackle on the back because he's holding things up. and taking on extra blockers, which allows one of the inside linebackers to roam free and make the tackle.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Operating from the gun, Bush. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot.
Oh, had to get it out quickly, but it's blocked. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. And the Steelers are in for the touchdown.
But they didn't have their normal cushion there in order to punt the ball away. It leads to a lot of anxiety for the team kicking the football.
But for the punter, you know that you've got to get rid of that quickly there. Not quick enough.
And also, not stepping behind you and stepping over the end line for a safety. That one gets blocked, and it's 6 points.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
I got you, boy. I got you, boy.
And an alley to run. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That burst good for 20 and a first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Back to throw. Bush. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there for a big milestone in this game. That's sack number 198 of his career. Ties him with Hall of Famer Reggie White for second place all time. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a third down and long coming up. Throwing on third and long. Lewis. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's fourth down. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
And from the 25, they worked this to the 29, a gain of 4. Kendall Fuller in on the stop. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. 2nd and 6. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On 3rd down, Bush, and that will be incomplete.
It is tough to complete pass against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They run again on 1st down. Anderson. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Ready, set, the mic. 43's the mic.
To throw is Lewis. From the gun, he'll throw. He'll get this to his speedster, Paul Richardson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 28.
70, 80.
Here's Lewis. Off the play fake. This will be caught inside the 10. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run. Anderson. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. On 2nd down, Samuels. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal.
Ready.
On 3rd down, here's Samuels. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. And his kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. You end up having to take 3 there.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Throwing on 1st down. Bush. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a 1st down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now a give right side. Barker. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a 1st. On 3rd down, it's Barker. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. We'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Lewis throwing again. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's going to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
To throw on third down. Bush. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Take over first and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 10th carry now for Anderson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Got it. 43 the mic, boy. 43. Check, 43. Get it.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They have the first down with that gain of 4 yards.
Ready. 60 outlaw. Hey, here I come. Here I come. Big grip.
Now they try the right side here. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And down to the 27-yard line. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Exit. Hey, Jet. Ready.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Throwing is Lewis. He's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Bradley Chubb make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Like the footwork back there. I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 19 yards that time for number 19. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
A big play there on the catch and run. 35 yards. The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. That'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Here we go.
They run with Anderson. He's been the bell cow tonight. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Lewis now to throw on 3rd down. And the throw there going to be incomplete. It was Bryce Callahan jarring the ball free defensively. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And this one is right through. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Following the penalty, Anderson. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because Every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They come out here in the eye. And they're going to go for this thing. They're not going to leave anything to chance. They're going to roll the dice on 4th and goal. Running for it. Here's Anderson. And I don't think he got in. He didn't. He's stoned at the 1-yard line. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And the Bronco defense comes up big.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Bush. And he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, there is still time to recover from this. It remains a 2-score game even with the 2 points there, but let's just say things not trending in the right direction.
I like that phrase. I'm going to say it along with you. Things are definitely not trending in the right direction. They needed something on that drive. Instead, they gave up 2 points and a lot of hope.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Give him 3 on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Lewis, off play action. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. On 1st down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the gun, Lewis. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Jenkins. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
On second down, Anderson. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Again, Anderson. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And his kick here is good. And that's going to open the lead up now to 3 scores at 18-0. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 9-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
They're running it.
They run it again with Anderson. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now Lewis sliding out of the pocket. On the run, he'll let it go deep. He's got a man, complete. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they did it in shutout fashion. Impressive.
Would it be too bland of a statement to say they didn't have the greatest day offensively? I mean,
did enough, though. Did enough. But, yeah, you're right.
Most games, it wouldn't have been enough. So they've got to go into the locker room and applaud their defensive mates and say, guys, you really carried us today. We'll try and get you back next time. But as for today, you guys are nails out there.
So for the Steelers, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Browns will come to town. Meanwhile, for Denver, it's another week, another loss as they fall now to 0-9.